insurance is one, it's recession proof.
Oh, that's true.
So, you'll always have it. People will always need it. And then just to give you a little backstory, prior to working in insurance, I had some experience. I've always been in sales. So I sold cars. I've sold,
Awesome.
did door to door for
That's
exterior
great.
home remodeling.
Wow.
But the purpose before that is my language.
Mm-hmm.
So I speak English. That's my second language. My first language is Mandarin.
That's amazing.
And I was born and raised in Michigan, Rochester Hills. However, my parents are from Taiwan.
That's insane.
So they migrated over here, and their first language is Chinese, and their second language is English.
Wow.
So growing up, my mom didn't speak English that well.
Gosh, how did
So,
you?
and then especially in large ticket purchases, like
Yes.
buying a new car or purchasing insurance or anything like that, I would have to translate.
Holy.
So I thought to myself, man, there's a lot of now I wouldn't say immigrant, but just
Yeah.
more people outside,
Yes.
and are, prone to not understanding English as well. And I
That's
wanted
true.
to be that connecting point,
That's amazing.
right?
So you learned
to
that
help them.
young, right?
Yes.
Because you were kind of, as you were growing up, you're saying, wait, there's like a need for this. Because, like, you want to reach everyone, not just people who speak English.
Correct.
But look at what an asset you are, because if you can even understand a little bit, like a rudimentary level of Mandarin, you are serving so many people who need and deserve the help.
Yeah.
Right? So
And-
I think that's really powerful.
And just to add on your point too, Sue, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, even, you have students coming from foreign countries,
Yes,
right? And you
yes.
have different workers on like work visas coming in, and
Right.
it could be hesitant. They're probably not even thinking about insurance.
No, exactly.
So if you could provide and assist them throughout the whole process, right, of not knowing,
Mm-hmm.
it'll give them a little bit more peace of mind, and they could focus on what they need to focus on too.
Right. Yeah, because it's so much. It's everything is college and all that is challenging and competitive enough that I just can't imagine not really having like the language, like, and then reading and writing at that level, at a
Right.
college level. I think you took marketing in university.
Yeah, I took marketing at Wayne State.
I'm so jealous. That's amazing.
Yes.
I'm so thrilled that you did that because it gives you a really nice overview of business, doesn't it? And it kind of gives you like a way of thinking, how can I reach people? What's going to be attractive? And that is absolutely always worth money. So every job that you bring that set of skills to, it's absolutely essential, especially today, right?
Absolutely. And just to add on to your point, why I chose marketing is because of the approach, how to connect with other people and
Yes.
communicating, and if you could communicate in a simplified form,
That's true.
you can connect with anybody,
That's
right?
true.
So that's the beauty of it.
That's such a nice way of thinking about it because it's a connector. It's not it's not like I'm here and you're there. It's like, no, here, I can help you with this.
Yeah, it's not unilateral. It takes,
It's
two
very
to
much
tango
an
in a way.
exchange. Yeah,
Exactly.
right? So, but it's just wonderful to reach people. And I think it's amazing that you actually learned English because it has to be one of the most illogical, difficult to learn, right? It doesn't make sense. Like it's a kind of a composite of other languages, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's just the biggest deal is to learn English. That's incredible. But look at how far you can go with that. You can go to any one of our colleges and do really well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So So where would you like to go with having all of these different lines of insurance that you can that you're developing? Are you continuing to like build a business, like to build a clientele? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very
So
good.
for right now, through Assured Partners, I'm focused on the personal lines.
Yeah.
With the line of products, we have auto insurance, home insurance. We could also provide boat insurance.
Boat insurance.
Mobile homes. You could even do collector cars.
Wow.
You could showcase. It's summertime. Woodward's that Woodward Dream Cruise is around the corner, so you could showcase and ensure you're collecting your collector cars, jewelries,
Wow.
guns, anything you could think of. You could even have umbrella, which is liability insurance as well.
Right, and that's really good to know about because I really feel like umbrella insurance can really save you in a dire situation. Like if you're protected against things that might out of the blue happen, like you need more than just your coverage that you have under your home and your auto, and you just thought to yourself, hey, it's really cheap to get like an extra million or an extra 2 million.
Yeah.
To just cover everything I have.
Yep.
And if you have that in place, oh my gosh, like I think you sleep better at night.
Absolutely. Yeah. As you know, covering your assets, and then in the nation, we're a Sue Happy nation. So it's just in case,
So happy.
yeah,
It's
we're,
too bad. Really.
and that's always, and that's where, the umbrella comes, it comes in handy.
Definitely.
When it comes to peace of mind, you have your assets all covered. So that way, if something, God forbid, if something was to happen, it'll cover for you, in terms of if it's personal injury or, any personal liability. Yeah.
Do you have business insurance?
Personally, yes. Yeah. So I have an LLC. So by having an LLC or S corp or any small business, it's always nice just to have an umbrella just to cover.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then you can plan for the future too, because if you ever wanted to put things in a trust or plan for your daughter's future, it's just nice to have things that already exist that you can just move around.
Absolutely.
And then also, I think you can do tax planning, with a tax professional, but you can work with the tax professional and like say the couple. If they're like, we want to build something, but we want to minimize, our risk and all that, then it's kind of nice to, in a sense, bring you into the relationship that they might have with a CPA.
Yeah.
Because both of the professionals, you both know what the couple needs, right, to protect their lives. And so you can just add with your expertise, right?
Absolutely. And just to add on, even working with another professional, right, as a CPA, and you're already working with them, by having another professional working alongside,
Right.
that only makes it even more secure, right? So that way you're covering your basis.
Right, yeah.
Great
Because
question.
we don't know what's around the corner. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's kind of like you're sort of paying for your expertise. So it's like if you've seen 100, different situations in the last year, then if I'm hiring you, I'm hiring all of that expertise too, because once you know how to deal with a trust or once you know how to deal with a situation, then you take that with you, right?
Right.
And then I get the benefit of it because you're like, oh, don't worry about it, Sue. I've dealt with trust before. That's no problem. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Right? So it isn't just like working with a beginning person who doesn't have any experience. It's amazingly how important it is to trust your financial professional, right? Would you say that's probably maybe one of the most important things?
Well, I can give you two factors.
Yeah.
So one, in insurance, as you know, it kind of deals with other industries as well, right?
Yes.
So like health industry, you have the
Yes.
auto industry, you have the real estate industry.
Yeah, like
right?
entire big
you have,
sectors.
You
like
have different
huge-
sectors, right? And financial industry as well too. So if you work with someone that you trust, right, that one person, and let's say if you do plan on moving to different carriers or companies for whatever the case may be,
Right.
wouldn't it be better if you just reach out to one person versus 3, 5, 4, so many other people? You
No
kind of lose numbers,
question.
right?
Yeah, and if you've taken care of me for 3 or 4 years, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have a guy, and you be like my guy. It's like
Exactly.
let me introduce you to my guy, and then then you're also benefiting from my network. But it's like you want to deal with someone that it's the most important thing, because I'd have to get really vulnerable with you. I'm telling you how much I'm making, what I own, do I have any assets, do I have debt, all these kinds of things. So I'd have to really trust you,
Exactly.
right? And that's a lot. So my trust in you, I'm sure it means something to you.
Absolutely. And exactly. That's huge. Reputation is extremely, that's all we have, right?
That's
It's
all I have.
priceless.
That's true.
And you take that you take that with you. So that's really, really important. That's something I pride myself in is my
Right.
reputation. I want to keep that clean.
Right.
And with whomever
Exactly.
I'm dealing with, right, I'm putting my best foot forward for my clients, right? There's
Yeah.
no personal gain in terms of what
Right.
I'm looking for because at the end of the day, if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't,
Like,
for your own needs, if
yeah.
I'm not, providing with on your needs, I don't get the business. It's just a short-term view, and that's
Right.
not the right way of doing business.
No.
It should be more so, hey, what can I do to help you provide that whole peace of mind throughout your whole life? And
That's
it's
right.
it's building a relationship. And that's why I love about this business, Sue, is because not only is it insurance, but it's a people relation. It's a
It
people
is.
business, you know?
It is. Yeah, it's nice. And it's great that you have the right personality for it. 'Cause you're always cheery and upbeat. And, but you'll also tell me the truth. If I say to you, you know what, do you think I should, get new insurance on this? And you could be like, no, you know what, you don't need it, Sue. Like, I know you'll tell me the right thing.
Exactly.
And that means a lot to me, right? Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So, like when Geico was doing a lot of advertising, like in the last 10, 20 years,
Yeah.
before that, I feel like, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like before those kinds of, 15 minutes can save you 15%.
Yeah.
I feel like before that, like for our parents' generation and before that, people wouldn't really change insurance all the time. Like, I feel like my insurance guy, if I met him in 1979, he'd still be the same guy in 1999. So do you think that there's been a bit of a shift away from and just kind of being like transactional? Like, it's not always good, right?
Right. Right. You're right. There is that
Like a sort of a mindset. It's kind of
mind-
like a,
yeah,
I don't know what you call it, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. It's more so just like how the industry has kind of changed.
Right.
It used to be very old school. You call one. It's like with stocks, right? It's
Yeah.
very similar with stocks. Back in the day, you'll just call a number,
Right.
and that
You
the
stay with that
stockbroker, you stick
person.
with that person,
Yeah.
and in order for you to sell or buy that stock, you have to call that number.
Exactly.
Same thing with insurance, right? That's why you'll have captive agents like, State Farm. You could walk in. Once you buy a home and they have a retail shop, you could just walk in and you could talk about insurance.
Okay.
But the difference is that's only one, they can only provide you with that one company. So you have to jump. Let's say if the rate doesn't come up to where you want it to be, you have to jump different companies, right? Or
Right.
different people. Whereas the thought process is, wouldn't you want to just deal with one person that could also
Right.
help you shop it around
Right.
the market, the pool, and
'Cause
kind of then you could
already
determine.
know me, right? You already
Right.
know me, and like you're like, hey Sue, you know what? You're going to be having this baby soon. Let's get the baby on a policy. Let's provide for that. And I may not even have thought about that. I'm like, oh God, no, I'm thinking about what to name this baby. I never thought about insurance.
Right, exactly.
But because you know me, right?
yeah.
So you're keeping in touch with me through my life. You're like, hey, isn't your daughter graduating this year? And I'll be like, yeah, she's going to move to whatever. And you're like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm licensed there too, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like Assured Partners is countrywide.
Oh, countrywide.
Perfect.
And that's the beauty of it, where you have options. You're not stuck with one option,
right.
and you have multiple options. However, you have an advocate that can go and fight